I feel like my shirt accurately represents how I'm going to be feeling about this challenge. Hi everyone, Sarah here from the YA Room, and today I've got a very exciting video because I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I'll be reading for the Reading Quest. If you haven't already heard of the Reading Quest, it was made by Read at Midnight on Twitter and everyone is going to be participating in it. It starts this Sunday the 13th of August and goes until mid-September, and the goal is to complete at least one quest during that time. But because I'm super competitive and love to give myself a challenge, I hope to complete all of the challenges and all the extra squares. So that's about 25 books I'll be reading in the space of 3.5 weeks. Normally I don't really read that many books in a month. I read between 8 and 10, but I really want to push myself this time. If I'm going to be doing a challenge, I want to win. I mean, everyone says that there's no actual winners in challenges, but I feel like if I get through all 25 of those books, I will be a winner. We've got a lot of books to get through, so let's get started. I've put handy sticky notes on the front of each book so I can remember which one they're actually for. So one of the first books I have on my TBR is Hold Me Closer by David Levithan, and I'll be reading this one for the companion novel square. If you don't know, this is a companion novel to David Levithan and John Green's Will Grayson, Will Grayson. The next book I have is Day 7 by Kerry Drury, and this one is for books set in the past/future, so this one's set in a dystopian future. Next I've got If Birds Fly Back, and this one is for a verb in the title. I'm using fly, that is totally a verb. I did Year 12 English, I should know this. One of the squares is to read a book with less than 500 ratings on Goodreads, so I chose Beautiful Mess by Claire Christian. I'm not too sure how many ratings this one has, but it's definitely under 500. The next book on my TBR is Hunted by Megan Spooner. This one is for the fairy tale retelling square, and this one is based off of Beauty and the Beast. Next up is Freedom Swimmer by Wei Chim, which is for the red cover square. As you can see, it is a gorgeous red. We're also asked to read a book with an adaptation, so I chose Howl's Moving Castle. I absolutely adore the film by Studio Ghibli, and I can't believe I haven't read the book yet, so I'm really excited to read that. Next up, I have Gap Year in Ghost Town by Michael Pryor, which is actually our August book of the month. One of the tasks was to read a book with a weapon on the cover, and this girl is holding a sword. Next up, I have the book Sky, and this one is used for a one-word title. The next square I could have picked a few books for, but I decided to go with Not Your Sidekick for the first book in a series. Next up we have a banned book, and I chose The Sidekicks by Will Kostakis. I'm not really sure if it's banned or not, but I heard there was some drama about not having it in certain school libraries and stuff, so I'm pretty sure this one fits for that category. The next book I have here is one that I'm really excited for, and that is The Undercurrent. It's a new Love Oz YA book, and I'm reading it for the buddy read section. We also have to read a book based on mythology for this quest, so I'll be reading Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I'm really ashamed that I haven't read this series yet. I read Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief a couple months ago, but I never got around to reading the second one, so I'm excited to do that. In the middle of the Reading Quest board, you can choose a book to read, whatever book you want, and so I chose The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. Next up is a square called Animal Companion, and that one is referring to an animal in the title, so I chose Sparrow. I read the blurb, and Sparrow is the main character in this story, but it's also a bird, so Sparrow in real life, not the character. The character's a human. Sparrow is a bird. You get me, right? But if I didn't read the blurb, I would have thought Sparrow was referring to a bird. So I am choosing this one for my Animal Companion, and you can't tell me otherwise, and it has a crocodile on the front cover, and just animals, okay? Next up, I have Cloud Wish by Fiona Wood. I'm ashamed I haven't read this book yet. It's Love Oz YA, and this one I chose for a book published by a small press. I'm pretty sure this is actually the American arc of this book, and this one was published by Poppy Little Brown. I haven't heard of them. I'm hoping they're a small press because I haven't heard of them, but they're not like HarperCollins, Allen & Unwin, stuff like that, so I'm counting this as my small press book. Next, I have a book that I've been meaning to read for months now, and that is The Archived by V.E. Schwab. Luckily, I'll be able to read it during this quest, and I'll be reading it for the square that is set in a different world. I love the worlds that Queen Bee creates, and I'm so excited to finally read The Archived. I'm just like, it's gonna be so good, I can already tell. One of the other quests was to find and read a book with striking typography, so I chose Graffiti Moon by Cath Crowley. I think we can all agree that that is pretty striking font. I love that, and I love her other book, Words in Deep Blue, so this one's gonna be great, I can tell. The next square I'm really mad about, because I was gonna win this challenge by reading books with all less than 300 pages, and then read at midnight, just like threw away my chances by adding a book that you have to read with more than 500 pages. I never read books with more than 500 pages. Like, I just don't have time for that. So, I've got to read this whole brick. Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld has like 600 and something pages, and I'm really not looking forward to it. Like, I've heard that it's great and everything, but just 500 pages, no! Next up, I have Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. I chose this one for the square that you read a book that you previously DNF'd, and like, I really liked this one when I started reading it, but I was also in the middle of writing a novel, so I kind of put it down in favor of writing, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to it, and I will definitely finish it this time and win the challenge. Next up, I have Nimona, and I chose this one for the graphic novel square. As you can see, it is gorgeous and graphics, and I'm really excited to finally get to it. So you're gonna think I'm a massive cop-out for picking this book to read in the quest, but this isn't actually even the shortest book that I picked, and that is Alice in Wonderland. It is tiny, and I'm so excited. This will take me like an hour. I chose this book for the one that contains magic, and if you tell me Alice in Wonderland doesn't contain magic, I'm going to throw this book in your face. I mean, like, surely it does. Like, talking rabbits and Mad Hatter and like tea parties. It's magical, okay? It's magical. I'm ashamed that I've never actually read this book. Like, I saw the films and I loved them, but I've never read it. Sorry. This book was kind of a last minute addition to my TBR for the reading quest because I only received it a couple days ago, and I'm so excited, and like, thank God it fits into one of the squares because I don't know what I would have done if I couldn't read this book for the next 3 weeks. So for the square that says partially obscured face, I'm going to be reading Wonder Woman by Lee Bardugo. I hate her last name, how do you say it? Wonder Woman, Warbringer. This face is obscured. I can't see her eyes, and if that's not obscured, then I'm going to remove your eyes. Okay? The second to last book on my TBR is Because You Love to Hate Me by a whole bunch of authors that I'm not going to read out to you. You can go find it for yourself. I chose this book for the 2+ authors square because it has about like 15 authors. I don't even know, but it has a whole bunch of authors and a whole bunch of YouTubers, and it's just like whole big mess of words. I'm really lucky that this book arrived in time because I hardly have any books written by 2 or more authors. The last book I have is one that I don't actually own a physical copy of, but I'm reading it for the translated book, and that one is The Little Prince. It's 10 pages, so what? It's still a book. I haven't actually read this one my entire life, and I feel like I'm missing out because I don't know, a whole ton of people really love it, and they have merch for The Little Prince and everything. I'm just like, where was my childhood at? I just don't know. So those are the 25 books that I will be reading in the next 3.5 weeks. But yeah, I'm really excited to be reading all of these. Everything died. I'm fine. It's all good. But yeah, I'm going to be filming a vlog throughout the entirety of the reading quest and then uploading it at the end so you can see my progress, what books I got to and which ones I failed to read. Which hopefully will be none because I'm very stubborn and I demand that I will win this challenge. Yes. What? Crap, crap, crap. La da da. Shake your booty. So yeah, My life is a mess. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Are you planning on competing in the reading quest? How many books have you set out on your TBR, and do we have any in common? I'd love to know. Bye everyone!